Let's start with CMLL Fantasticamania USA, which happened this weekend, July 13, 2024, in San Jose, California, at the Mount Pleasant High School gym, which did not seem pleasant in the least. That place looked like a furnace. It looked like everyone was melting in that high school gym. Holy smokes. 906 in attendance. I don't know if that's a good number for Mount Pleasant High School gym. I don't know what the attendance is. I didn't call the secretariat. I didn't call the information hotline over at Mount Pleasant to ask them what is the attendance for, what is the maximum capacity for attendance for a wrestling show in your gymnasium. The lady who would have picked up would have stammered through it. Probably ended up saying, I'm not sure. Yes, this is why I'm a D-list podcast, because I don't do the work. What do you want from me? This was an interesting show. I think the fact that 906 in attendance, it seemed like less. There were many seats that were empty. Is it because people just decided to not show up because of the heat? Maybe. I probably would have been turned off by it. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's just stay home. Let's just watch it on TV, kind of thing. Let's buy it on pay-per-view. And then again, you can ask yourself, why would I buy this on pay-per-view? Because to be perfectly frank, and these are two promotions that I really like. New Japan is my favorite promotion, and CMLL has grown on me. I think it's tremendous. So these two together, I'm like, Fantasticamania, let's go. But I look at the card, I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to sink my teeth into here? What are the matches? There's a couple of them where I was like intrigued, and thankfully they delivered. But on paper, it's not a card that sort of gets me excited, that makes you go, hell yeah, take my money kind of thing. And on top of that, if you're already paying for CMLL on YouTube, which is like $30 a month, and you have to pay extra for this pay-per-view, which is this pay-per-view, which is not even as big a show as the Friday night shows, as the Friday night spectaculars. It's not even on the same footing. And it's fascinating to me that, and I don't mean this with any true form of disrespect, but when we get Virus, we get Barbaro Cabinario, who are guys who can work, can go, don't get me wrong, but who aren't even pushed in CMLL. These are guys who are not pushed. We're not getting Templario. We're not getting Soberano Jr. We're not getting Atlantis Jr. We're not getting Mascara Dorada. We're not getting real top guys where you're like, I will pay money to see. No one's paying money, I don't think, to watch Virus in a pay-per-view setting. He's a fine. I actually like Virus. Don't get me wrong. I actually like him. And I thought he had a great showing, particularly on this show. But he's not a push commodity. Even as a CMLL fan, I started struggling. I'm like, well, he's a good worker, but, what has he done for me lately? Kind of thing. You switch out, you put a Soberano Jr. in there, and like, all right, I'm into this. Now this is something I can sink my teeth into. You get, you put a Templario across from a Yoda Suji. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm out of water. But I'm like, holy shit. So it's like I paid money too, between you and I. I mean, we're talking, I'm talking above my station here. like I'm above all of this, but no, I paid money too for this. This is the feeling I have after watching Fantasticamania USA. This is how I feel. Good little show. You're in and out, like, what was it? It's under 3 hours. It's like 2.5 hours, 2:45, something like that. You're in and out. You saw some good wrestling, some fun times. But I felt like I paid for this. Like, this is a pay-per-view event, and it didn't feel big. It felt like it was in a gymnasium. Felt like everyone was dying with the heat, the audience included. To be fair, they were into the show. But, when you see people, doing this all the time, you're like, okay, geez, okay, that's fine. Yeah, the atmosphere wasn't there. It was just it just came across like every New Japan of America show. It came across as an indie show streaming on IWTV. That's how it came across as. And I'm paying extra for this. I'm paying extra for this for two world-class promotions putting on a show in the United States in a school gymnasium. I'm like, what am I doing? And of course, the audio mix is terrible. The audio mix is terrible. They even lose the audio at some point. But to be fair, for the time the audio was zonked out and commentary was dead, I was kind of, this is kind of nice. I'm slow. Veda Scott as the play-by-play person doesn't do it for me. Veda has very good qualities, and I think she's a great color person, but too much Veda Scott is not good. And it was nice when commentary just died and all we could hear were the guys wrestling and grunting and the ring and people cheering. I was like, this is nice. This is nice. I don't know what happened, but could we keep it up, please? So I don't know. To me, ultimately, it's a big mixed bag. But let's get into it. We'll go through it, in order, I guess. Opening match was the Copa Fantastica 4-way match, won by the DKC against his opponents Adrian Quest. There wasn't multiple. There's just one. Adrian Quest, Viento, and Kukui, who was a revelation for me in this match. I had never seen Kukui in a wrestling match before. He doesn't have a cage match profile. I was stoked to see this big guy doing tremendous stuff that big guys can't do. Doing, Spanish flies off and he's a big lad. And I'm not talking like tall and like he's a corpulent gentleman. And he's just flying around. I like that. I liked him a lot. I want to see more Kukui moving forward. I'm very excited for more Kukui in my life. Apparently, I'm trying to be respectful. Chubbier than Black Taurus. How about that? Not quite like Black Taurus, chat, but chubbier. and apparently he's a West Coast guy. I like even the people that I'm talking about, everyone sort of shrugs their shoulders and, well, we know this and that, and that's about it. So, all right, let's go. Anyway, the DKC won here. Apparently, he secured winning. This is a cup, right? Like Copa Fantastica. Apparently, this means that he secured his spot to defend the Copa Fantastica on the next Fantasticamania show, because he is the cup holder. Not the cup holder, the cup holder. Very dynamic, super fun opener. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought the opener was a blast. Satoshi Kojima and Okumura, Cozy Max is what they call themselves, successfully retained their MLW World Tag Team titles by defeating Magnus and Rugido, which are two wrestlers that I really like. I think Rugido is tremendous, and so is Magnus. And like commentary put over, these guys are already a team in New Japan, so in CMLL, excuse me. So I was excited to see this. Always exciting to see Satoshi Kojima. Not always exciting to see Okumura. Yeah, I thought this is a match that happened. I thought it was a little rough. And as good as the CMLL guys were, there was a lot of miscues and just some rough spots, you know. Okumura is not the slickest wrestler in the world, and he's not the youngest one either. And, you know, Satoshi Kojima can only do so much. I gave this 3 stars. Willow Nightingale defeated Yuvia and Viva Van to become the new CMLL World Women's Champion. You know, they did some cutesy spots, and, you know, that's fine. But this started to get fiery after a series of moves to the floor and on the floor as well, as the women sort of started doing dives and leaps and all sorts of stuff. But then it kind of stretches on, and there's some weird spots. And man, it's just like, I felt it went just a little too long. I didn't know if there was just a lack of communication as well, because there's some stuff. Look, here's the thing. I think I've reached a spot here to talk about this spot. I think we have to have the conversation, the serious conversation, that Willow Nightingale should not do the pounce anymore. I don't think anyone knows how to set it up. I don't know how anyone knows how to take it properly. I don't know if she, hits the ropes too late as opposed to when she's supposed to hit her opponent with it. But it is always mistimed. It's always miscued. It always ends up with the person taking it, waiting in the middle of the ring for Willow to bounce back off the ropes and hit it. I think we got to put that one away. And I'm not saying retire it. I'm saying bring it out in top tier situations. I don't think you should blow this off in every match, Willow. If you're listening, I know you're listening. I don't think you should blow it off on every match. I think now it should be with very specific opponents in big time matches with people that will know how to take it and where the timing will be good and things. Because Yuvia, again, sort of wobbles into the middle of the ring, and she's like, and then Willow does the pounce, and she just like, she doesn't sell it like the pounce Yuvia does. She doesn't sell it like that. She falls, she's, instead of fucking getting air, right? That's the idea behind the, I think, and this is not the first time that the pounce has been, I don't want to say whiffed or botched, but unsuccessful. It's not the first time. I think we need to stop pretending that this is something that Willow needs to do more often. You know, I think it's a clear spot. If anything, it needs to be rehearsed. Like whatever, just get it out of the way. But I think I'm at a point where it's like, stop doing the pounce Willow. Keep it for interesting moments. Anyway, but Willow wins in a fine little match. I thought it was pretty good. So what's next for her as CMLL World Women's Champion? She's probably already got a busy summer booked up already with AEW. Between, you know, with the Statlander stuff and Wembley. I mean, there's the October shows, there's the September show, coming up, right? The Anniversario and Willow's been to Arena Mexico before. Like they can send her over, but you know, clearly this feels like CMLL getting ready, CMLL putting their title on a trusted partner. This is what it feels like, while they build someone on their end who can challenge for the title and be a credible, good local Mexican champion for them, right? Which right now the division does not have. I dare you to say Tessa Blanchard. I double dare you. But they don't. They don't have anyone lined up, right? You know, after the match, Yuvia, you know, was doing this, you know, was still challenging. There's a lot of, I don't know if we should read into that. There's a lot of this posturing that happens in CMLL. It happens quite a bit. A lot of people going, you know, going into business for themselves and trying to create angles. So that might be a thing here. That might be all this, what this was. Maybe not. Maybe there is something to it, but I wouldn't read too much into it. I don't think Yuvia's the one. You know, there's Kira, who, you know, I think Kira has in CMLL has a lot of star potential. I mean, she's not ready, but she has a lot of star potential. If they wanted to turn around and invest in her moving forward, I think that would be someone who could absolutely take up the mantle, but she's not ready yet. Zeusis, like, I don't know Zeusis is fine. Like, Catalina might be their next best option. I don't think that they really have someone big enough right now to be like, this is going to be the woman who's going to carry the division, that's going to be the face of it, not unlike what Vicaire was doing. You know, Vicaire won the title in December last year. So, you know, it's like, we'll see what happens. But, you know, I feel like in the meantime, I think they were like, this is our safest bet. Let's put it on Willow. And then when Willow comes to Arena Mexico to defend it, she'll put over our new top girl, and that'll be elevative for that person. So I think there's a lot of good. I think it's smart booking, but I just don't know who's going to be the one. But at the same time, it's not as if the world title is very defended to begin with. Like I said, Vicaire's last title defense, she didn't win it in December. The last title defense that she had for the World Women's title was in December. It was against La Haroshita. I think that's how you pronounce it. Haroshita. Who consequently is no longer with CMLL either. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hechicero and Virus defeated the TMDK duo of Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito. I thought this was a blast. This was a lot of fun too. Especially Zack Sabre Jr. and Hechicero just having some great old times together, tying each other up into knots and stuff. This was really fun. Look, I mean, they had a 5-star match earlier this year in Arena Coliseo on a Saturday night. So they're back at it, and it's such a delight. It's my kind of stuff. I think Bad Dude Tito here in this match, because Virus is very good too. Very quick, high-flying, energetic. I feel like Bad Dude Tito seemed a little bit out of his depth here. But, you know, not a complete disaster, but you could feel he was struggling maybe a little to keep up with Hechicero and Virus. But yeah, Hechicero wraps Bad Dude Tito up into a submission and gets the win. So another big win. Fun stuff. Really good match. No issues with it. Yoda Tsuji defeated Barbaro Cavernario. Barbaro Cavernario. I thought this ruled. I thought this was so good. I gave this 3 3/4 stars. It's probably my match of the night. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. Very, very good match. And Barbaro has this initial go. He when the match starts after Tsuji, where that's really tremendous. They're just doing power moves and dives to the floor. Tsuji starts pulling out the power offense and chops, and so does Barbaro, and they're just like slapping the hell out of each other. And the sweat is just exploding off of their chests. Like, it's such fantastic visuals. It was hot as hell, but it was just like, it looked harsh as hell. The conditions and so on, it's just bursting into clouds of sweat. It's tremendous stuff. Barbaro does a huge tope. Falconaro by Tsuji. Barbaro leapfrogs the spear and lands some kind of leg trap driver, but a stunner and a spear. Follows by Tsuji for the win. Fun, very good, very, very good match. Like I said, 3 3/4 stars. This was my match of the night. Gabe Kidd versus Ultimo Guerrero successfully retained his New Japan Strong Openweight title. I thought that was very good too. Big strike off from the start. I mean, this is what it was. It was a meat and potatoes. We're going to beat the tar out of each other match. No nonsense, no flippies, no flying around. I mean, there was, but, you know, this wasn't what you have in mind when you think about a Lucha Libre match. How about that? This was a down and dirty, gritty fight. I was into it, and I liked it. Boils into the audience like a good Gabe Kidd match should, and it just gets more and more hard-hitting and gruesome as the match goes forward. Gabe's Kidd chest is just a new shade of pink, one that the world has never seen. Avalanche Gourdbuster by Ultimo Guerrero, and the crowd is really into this, by the way. The crowd has been very good all evening, but this one I thought they were really into. Reverse superplex cover. Gabe Kidd kicks out. Ref is distracted. Kidd hits a low blow, and the pile driver for the win. Really, really, really good match too. I give this one as well 3 3/4 stars. I thought it was another highlight of the show. I think I liked, Tsuji and Barbaro just a little more, but not by much. And then the main event in a Relevos Increíbles tag team match, Dookie and Místico defeated Rocky Romero and Volador Jr. Místico getting all the time in the world to pose and say hello to everyone and let the chance to sink in. And the idea here is in the Relevos Increíbles match is that it's usually two rivals who are on the same side. It's not as much of a can they coexist kind of thing. Like, this is something that happens in Lucha Libre to set up stories in other matches. And Volador Jr. and Rocky have a storied past. They've had some feuds. I mean, Rocky has feuds with everyone essentially in CMLL too. And and like I've said in the past, and I'll say it here again, Rocky Romero as a heel in CMLL, he's unparalleled. I think he's great. He's in his element so much here. But Volador usually is supposed to be Volador is a technicals, not a rudo, but he tried to play the rudo here, and it just didn't land. There's a lot of things in this match that didn't land. I think this match was a little sloppy, and it's like it could never find its groove. It's like we're trying stuff, but I don't know if people are just are not on the right page, on the same page. It's like everyone has trouble just having this match gel and coalesce and have something happen, if that makes sense. And like I said, Volador completely out of sorts in trying to be a rudo here. Stuff gets really crisp when Doki and Rocky Romero are going at it. But I don't know, the CMLL guys, they were fine, but nothing more than that. I don't know. There's some miscommunication with the Rudos that leads to Rocky Romero submitting to La Mística. We could all see that one coming. I thought it was a bit of a mess. I thought the work that was there was solid. Like I said, especially with Doki, new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Doki. But I don't know. I thought the main event was a little messy, a little off. It might as well. They should have ended with Kid and Ultimo Guerrero on that end, And I mean, this match lasted 25 minutes, and it felt like it too. It felt like a real long fucking match. I don't know. Like I finished the pay-per-view and I was like, there are better CMLL matches on Friday nights. Most Friday nights are better than this. Like this would be if this had aired on a Friday night, it would have been a misstep. This hope this wasn't your first time watching, because it was fine, I guess. But also no. It was also not great.